90-foot gap jumps, high-speed manuals, and often missing a tooth. If any or all of those make you think Nico Vink, you're not alone. Nico is the man behind Loosefest and is integral to the go large and do it well riding blossoming since the Fest series kicked off. Hardworking and fun-loving, he's put his happiness and bikes ahead of everything else in his life. That's left him broke on numerous occasions, but doesn't seem he'd have it any other way. Could also be behind his humility. Nico's one of the most down-to-earth, genuine, and open individuals I've had the pleasure of meeting. But on the bike, that calm demeanour is only visible in the control in heavy situations. He's no stranger to the back wheel or flying over jumps suitable in size for dirt bikes. But for Nico, it's all quite casual, and he refers to the enormous Loosefest jumps as chill. That humble attitude brought him a long way from his days scratching for World Cup results, but he remains low-key, with a focus on doing what he enjoys. Thankfully for fans, that's ride his bike. During Crankworx Whistler, Nico was kind enough to share his story, from racing cross-country as a young whippersnapper to being comfortable hitting the biggest jumps we've seen in MTB. He shared thoughts on racing and why he moved on from it, the future of Freeride and where the Fest series fits in. Nico's also a Red Bull judge and shared some experience gained from scoring the often controversial event. I'm AJ Barlas, welcome to the second episode of the NSMB podcast. We've got more to come, but for now, enjoy my conversation with Nico Vink. Welcome back, guys. This is the NSMB podcast, and we're sat in Whistler today with Nico Vink. We're going to chat a bit about how he got into riding and where he started and where he's at now with the Freeride movement and Loosefest and Fest series. Some stuff about the brands that he works with and a little bit about the future. So, Nico, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I'm pumped.
This is, so everyone knows, this is Nico's first podcast, so he's pretty excited.
Yeah, definitely different than I listened to some of them, but I've never been on one, so it's sick.
Cool. So Nico, you're from Belgium, which from my understanding is pretty flat, eh?
Yeah, where I grew up, it's like, how do you say it? Like, the way we say it is flat as a pancake.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on there. So, my dad had a bike shop. It was like, he used to race motocross. And I just like was into bikes, and I did some BMX racing, and then got into like dirt jumping and skate park, and like rode a bunch of hardtails, and then that's about it.
And I guess that's because that's what was around, hey?
Yeah, that's all there was.
Yeah.
And then I just rode bikes almost daily since I was a kid, and I was like having jumps in my backyard and just digging stuff myself and with pallets and digging holes in the garden of my parents, and then that's about it.
Where did you grow up in Belgium?
It's a little town called Sint-Gilles-Waas. It's like let's say 50 minutes from Antwerp maybe.
Okay.
So it's pretty industrial. There's not that much going on. Not a lot of woods left, but there's a couple like corners where we found spots to ride, and like we dug dirt jumps and all that stuff.
So you've been into building since the early days?
Forever.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's always been like that. How you say, like back in the day where we lived, there wasn't anything there. So if you wanted to do something, you had to build it.
Yeah.
And for me, building has always been like a part of riding. Like if you don't build stuff, there's nothing to ride. You could go poach other people's stuff, but it's not always the most progressive. And, and I don't know, like it's just part of it.
Where do you call home now?
Still officially the same area. That's where my address is. But I'm mostly on the road. Like I would say I'm on the road like 95% of the year.
So your
like,
suitcase is your
van.
Van?
And, a lot in the van. Like it's not like I'm not really living in my van, but I just drive around from project to project and move around.
Do you think most of that is in Europe? Like you're in North America a bit too, but
I'd say maybe like 60-70% in Europe probably.
Right.
But the last couple of years I've been doing more stuff like overseas, like Canada, US.
Right.
And then like Dark Fest became a big.
So before we get into like the Fest series stuff and
Mm-hmm.
and all that, let's go back to where you started. And we were just talking a bit about it. Like you started out racing a little bit of BMX and then got into mountain biking.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of sounds like you kind of fell into it, hey? Like you turned up at a race, did really well, and next thing you know, you're going to junior world champs.
Yeah, kind of. Like before all that, actually, like how do you say, like my dad was a like team for a couple big like cross country names in Belgium.
Right.
A big cross country racing team. So he was a mechanic on that team. So I traveled to all the races like with my parents on the weekends.
Right. From a young age.
Yeah, like from 6, 7 probably, or 8. And then like I also raced cross country for a couple of years when I was like 10 to 12. Like I just like started racing youth league cross country, and I did a couple seasons I did like, I don't know, like I won quite a few races, and I won the overall title and like, or got second, like whatever. But then my mom was like, okay, this is like too hard on your body, like racing cross country for being that young. I was like 12, 13, 14, I guess, that time in my life.
Yeah.
So they said, no, we don't like that anymore. So I got more into like just staying home and how you say, like I got riser bars on my bike, lowered my seat, and then I just started like influenced by like certain movies like Hans Ray. We watched a lot with the kids, like Monkey See, Monkey Do, and then we started jumping more and doing that kind of stuff. And I did that for a couple of years, then got into like skate park riding and dirt jumps at the same time. Both with BMX and hardtail. And then when I was like 15, like a friend of my dad, like one of the cross country racers actually, like I was like, came to my dad's shop to fix his bike, and he's like, oh, this weekend there's like national champs, like maybe like DH, maybe like it's a fun thing to go do like for Nico.
Right.
I was like, we tried figuring out a license like last notice but couldn't, so I entered as a private, like how you say, without a license, a day license. And then I kind of like won that race, and then like the people like leading the championship and stuff, they were like, who's this kid?
Yeah, where did this guy come from?
And I was the only guy on a hardtail as well, so I was like, no, my buddy was also on a hardtail, and we both did podium, so that was sick.
Oh,
and
awesome.
That's it. That's how I rolled into it. And then that's my first ever race, and then because of that result, Kona, Belgium hooked me up with a free bike through my dad's shop, and then I started racing the whole national series. And the first or second race, my actual first season, like a junior crashed, and he was selected for European champs, and I got his spot, and I like beat all the juniors from my country, and then I got like invited to Worlds in Auto in '99, and that's kind of how it kicked off.
Snowballed from there.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing you racing around on a track. I think it was in one of Alex Rankin's videos way back when, like Earth or something.
Yeah, probably. Like I started off Kona for 2 seasons, then I rode Tassi bikes, like the Italian brand, like the weird looking bikes, like from like for another 2 seasons, and I switched to B1 with Baz the Beaver and Claudio Colorado.
You were with Baz?
Wow. I was on the team with Baz. I was like, so then I traveled a couple full seasons with Baz and Claudio. Claire was also on there 1 year.
Claire Bouchard?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I traveled a season with her. With my mechanic, like Sander, and then that team kind of like fused with a cross country team.
Okay.
And then we had 1 year of B1, and then B1 stopped, and it became a track team. So
it was the same team, just different major sponsor.
Yeah. So the team changed bike sponsor.
Yeah.
And then I started riding for a track, and then first I was like running like Chandra's bike, the Session 10, which wasn't like the most ideal race bike. It was more like a free ride bike, but it worked. And then then the next year it was like the first session 88, and I did all the prototype testing because I was the only guy like on the World Cup circuit. Not all the prototype testing, but I did some of the prototype.
You helped out
testing.
with it, yeah.
As far as it helped them, I don't know. I was just doing laps. And then, so yeah, and yeah, that's a while ago. And that's kind of how that all went. And then I was on track for 4 years probably or something.
And then from track, where did you go?
From track, I kind of lost the team quit, and then I tried continuing with track on my own, but they didn't really. Yeah, they were starting up a new team with Martin Whiteley, and I didn't like. I wasn't fast enough to be on that team. I did some top 20s, but they wanted podium guys.
Yeah.
So I didn't make it to that team, but then I just got a frame deal, and I was privateering again.
Okay.
And then as soon as I was like, I privateered for maybe 3 years after that. Like I've been 1 year on track, but then I was like, yeah, this is not working because I need money to travel and make a living. And I went to Solid Bikes.
Oh yeah.
A German brand for 2 seasons, like a team called Solid like Blanc, and then swapped for Rosa for 1 year.
No way.
But that the bike wasn't on point for racing at the time, and then I kind of like I was already riding Scott clothing, and then I knew Ben Walker and Scott pretty well, like from Champery, and like he's in that area, and like I always looked up to him, and started talking about Scott, and he's like, okay, I can probably help you. Rosa, like you say, Rosa was like really wanted me, and they offered me like a pretty big deal.
Oh wow.
Like with good money and everything, and I kind of was like, okay, I ride bike for fun. If I'm on a bike I don't like so much,
Not fun.
I'm not having fun anymore, then there's no point.
Yeah.
So I just signed a frame deal and such, and then took that chance. And with Ben, he's like, I told him I want to do more free riding and all that stuff. So he's like, okay, cool. Like, show me what you. Like, yeah, I'll help you out and see how it goes. Like, show me what you got, kind of. And then from there on, it just like got better and better. And
It's been a good relationship since then, hey? Like,
yeah,
still on them now?
Yeah, I think it's 5-6 years now I've been working with them, so yeah, I'm really happy. Like it's cool. Like I love working with Ben Walker. He's a good dude. He rides himself. He's real.
Yeah,
and that's sick.
Cool. Yeah. So that first season on Scott, were you still racing World Cup, or did you start to sort of move away?
I started moving away. I still did a race. I did Fort William, but I stopped training. I was like, there's no point. But then like it was like my last World Cup ever was like Fort William, and I was kind of like, whatever, I don't care anymore, because at the same time I was building like my first like project, kind of like jump thing for a video in Royal Hills out of France, and then like I was building that prior to the World Cup. Then I went to the World Cup and I was like, okay, I'll just race and see how it goes. And practice, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Like, okay, like quali's coming up, and I was actually pretty motivated. I was like, okay, let's qualify and get a good result. And then qualifying, like I punctured midway down. And like first thought that came to mind, I was like, oh man, I'm so happy I didn't spend all winter in the gym.
As you're riding down the flat.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm out of here. And then from then on, I was just like, okay, I want to make it back to Royal Hills, like finish up those jumps and shoot that. And that's the direction I want to go, and that's kind of, what I'm doing now still, and I like it. It worked out good. Yeah,
it did. Did you think at that point, because what was that, 6 years ago, so 2013-ish?
Yeah, 13, yeah.
Did you think at that point when you were building that Freeride line, like, Freeride would end up being your money maker? Like, how are you going to get by? How are you going to live?
Yeah, like, I never really, chased making a living.
Yeah.
Like if I would have done that, I probably would not be biking anymore.
Yeah.
like on a very early stage because I didn't make a lot of money riding.
Yeah.
Like there's like moments in my career that I like how you say I had $50 on my account and I was like there's a good session going on like an hour away. And that $50 was how much it's gonna cost me to fill up my van.
Yeah.
And I would like fill up the van and go for the session and then figure out money the next day, you know. So I never really cared too much about the money. But at a certain stage, you're like, okay, now like I'm 36 now, like we need to make a living. You need to have a house, you know. Like it's like, but so yeah, like I never really looked at it that way, but I was aware that like going that direction, like it's a new direction, and it would be like the chances of me like I was like I was okay fast. I could race. I could win some races. I could do okay in World Cups. My best result is 12, but that was not like gonna get me paid. And then I wanted to progress and going to the races. I started being bored because we're racing the same tracks over and over. Like I always wanted to hit big jumps. Like I think like in 2004 or 2005, like I was on a training camp somewhere in Spain when I was still on B1, and we were like shooting a little bit on a moto track near a downhill track, and there was like a big moto stab down, like probably like 20, 22 meters or something. And I was like, man, I think I could jump that thing, and that's like kind of like the first ever like
big jump
I hit.
No way.
And like I never got the footage of it. Like I would love to see it because
it's out there somewhere.
Some dude filmed it or took a photo, so but I never saw it. So I kind of want to get a hold of that stuff. But so I hit that, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best stuff ever." And then a couple of years later, my buddy, one of my Belgian buddies, like bought a moto compound in South of France, which is at Royal Hills Place.
Okay.
And I went motoing there all the time. Because at the end of my World Cup, I was kind of getting bored of, like the tracks, and I wanted to go bigger. So I was like, okay, I'll start motoing because at least like there's big jumps everywhere for motoing, or bigger jumps, and you. So I got a bit into that, and then I had friends that were into FMX, and I tried a little bit like FMX riding, and I was like kind of looking for new things to do because I just got bored.
You needed more thrill.
Yeah, and then I figured out like, well, I'm good at riding bikes. Moto, I'm mediocre. So I was like, I like BMX. I like building trails. I like downhill bikes, and I like the size of jumps the moto guys do. So why not like just do it all and bring it all together? And that's kind of what I started doing. And that's what it was more just me looking to progress my riding, I think.
And you felt you just weren't getting it at the World Cups.
Yeah. So I wasn't looking for money making because like the first couple of years I was free riding, I wasn't really making any money either. But then I got into Rampage and started getting more coverage. I got covers, I got good video segments, and then like Fest happened, which is like changed a lot too.
That changed it all, you reckon?
A big part of it.
Big part.
Yeah. Like you got like how you say since Fest, I feel like a lot more respect from the industry. Like because like you kind of you look at it as like you got FMB, you got World Cup, DCI.
Yeah.
And then there's like I feel like there's us at Fest Series, and it's kind of like
legitimizes what you're doing.
Our own little thing.
Yeah.
But it's getting the reach. It's getting it's respected
and it probably goes outside of our sport. I think a lot of people would see that stuff who have nothing to do with mountain bikes and be like, wow, this stuff is crazy.
Because the first year I did Loosefest, like suddenly like all the moto dudes are
they're hitting you up.
Mountain biking sick, and then all
Really?
the BMX dudes were like I think like like all the BMXers like I grew up like as a BMXer more than a mountain biker. Like I watched BMX. I didn't watch mountain biking movies. I watched
I think I read somewhere one of your favourite riders is Mike Aitken.
Yeah.
He's one of my
still
favourites
is.
too. Yeah.
and like I'm mostly like like until like recently I was a like BMX rider that rode mountain bikes. Even when I was racing World Cup, I was like
BMX for your spare time.
yeah all the time, like 24/7.
Shit.
So how do you say like I respected somehow that scene and the mentality a lot more in BMX and like mountain biking. I always thought I liked it, but it was like kind of geeky still, and like it wasn't that cool yet. But now we got to that point that it's badass.
Pretty cool.
Think. Yeah.
Do you still spend time on your BMX?
No, not anymore. Like and that's a bit of a bummer. But then on the other hand, I'm just like flat out like riding these bikes now, and there's so much opportunity. I travel to like super sick places to go ride. Like I get opportunity to build like stuff that was beyond my dreams as a kid almost, like access to operating excavators and to just like be like, okay, this piece of land, like
shape it.
Okay, there we're gonna build like a 60 footer or 90 footer that like we're like it's like how you say it. So I'm doing the same thing just on a bigger bike now, I feel like. And so I still wish like sometimes I could take a month off in summer and just go back home to my like local spot and ride trails with my buddies. But then again, like building Loosefest and riding those jumps is also pretty sick.
Yeah. Do you ride them in your spare time?
Loosefest?
Yeah.
And I wish like I do it. I've done it a couple times, but the thing with those jumps is like to shape that line is just like if you got a heavy rain, it's gonna take you like 3 to 4 days to shape it.
Really?
And
just
you need
fix
machine time and then like it's hard to find people to ride it with as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, but I want to do it more. I want to ride it more.
It's funny. Just a few moments ago, you said like you felt like you wanted to hit bigger jumps. Bigger was better. Andrea said a couple of years ago that he felt like our bikes, the downhill bikes, should be hitting heaps bigger jumps. And then I think it was maybe 2 years after I heard that rumour, the Fest series started.
Yeah.
So you're not the first guy, I guess, to be like, these bikes are sick, we should be going heaps bigger on them.
I think there's just a few of us, like that, like how you say within the scene that we just been like similar riding style maybe. Like I'm not Andrea, like not even close. He's a fucking legend. Like no one's Andrea. But like and as far as like what we were hitting at the time, it wasn't like the bikes just got so good. Yeah. And like it wasn't even close to what the bikes could do, and everyone was like, "Oh, you hit the big jump on the track," and like for example, at a race like a World Cup or something, everyone's talking about the big jump, and you're kind of like, which one? Like
none of them seem big to you.
Like I hit him first lap blind almost, like it's like, and it sounds cocky, but it's just that's how it was. Like it's like, and I just knew you could go like way bigger. Still now I think like Loosefest is big, Darkfest is big, but like if you have some more time to build it all and think it through, like it's easy to go bigger.
No way.
Yeah, we're not that building it yet, I think.
And what you're hitting like 90 footers at Loosefest? And you reckon you can go bigger?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's chill. Yeah. Like after the event.
It's chill. Like for the listeners, he just said Loosefest is chill.
It's scary, but how do you say, like it's like when you first show up, like let's say like haven't been there since like I didn't organize Loosefest in 18, so I took a year off. I went back, looked at the jumps, and you're like you're kind. It's the elephant in the room kind of you, and you start shaping them. Yeah. You look at them like, okay, in a few weeks we'll be riding this stuff again, like, and it's kind of like, and then you're like building like even like extensions to it, like transfer landings and kickers that are further back, and you're like, yeah.
Are you testing during the build process, or are you kind of?
We tried, but like this year again, we didn't get to it.
Yeah.
So, like a Dark Fest, we always have a lot of time. And then we test prior to the event in the build. I've had it. I think for my event, I never made it work. Like we just like build them, and then when everyone shows up, we start sessioning them.
No way.
So yeah, then you look at them and you're like, kind of ignoring the fact that you'll be riding them in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more you're around them, you get used to them. And then the first session is always a bit like I don't know, scary. But then day 2 or 3, you're just like you drop in first lap, you do top to bottom.
Yeah, right.
And then
start throwing some style.
Yeah, and after the event, like I rode them again on the Tuesday after, and just chilled all day, and then just drop in, ride the whole thing, and it's the best feeling ever. But you get used to it.
Yeah.
Cause like most dudes that rode it, like yesterday, 2 days ago, like Jackson Riddle.
I don't know Jackson.
He's sick.
Oh, Jaxson.
Yeah.
I've seen his name.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's badass.
Yeah.
He's 17. He's a shredder, and he came out to Loosefest. He's like, man, Nico, like after coming to your event, everything's so slow. Like I'm not enjoying anymore. And a lot of people like come up to me like I even heard like Dave McMillan saying it, like, man, like I'm not having fun anywhere anymore. Like it's so you get used. It's all perception.
Yeah.
And I feel like if the opportunity to write that stuff is there on a daily basis, you'll just get better at it.
Right.
And
stuff will just get bigger and progressive.
Become normal, and then there's margin to go bigger. And you can over jump that stuff easily if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And
well, we saw Remy do it 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was a bad overshoot.
It was a bad overshoot.
That was like he just got I don't know, like as a that jump is a gnarly jump. Probably like the most scary jumps I ever hit, I think.
Yeah, right.
And
why is that?
It's just huge. Like you're going into that thing like this year. Remy was measured in the berm 75k.
No way.
Yeah, and most of us he was fastest. I think I was about 73, 74, and we were all around that. So imagine going with 75k into like a 5 meter tall takeoff.
Yeah, you're going to the moon.
With like a 26 meter gap.
Shit.
Like and that, Like
did it still hit this year? It hit.
Yeah, it hit to the other side. But
okay.
how do you say it? We made the berm continue for longer, so it carved back into the hill.
Right.
And then we made a left like 90 hip kind of. But an even taller. This one was like 7 meters tall or something to slow it down a little bit. And then tried to make it a bit safer with more margin on it since Remy's crash, and Remy came out to Loosefest to help build and stuff, and I really he was worried about not being allowed back. I was like, dude, like you're a boss, like I respect your riding, you're one of the best bike riders on this planet, and I want to see you ride that. And he was like, I'll come and help build, and then I definitely took his feedback in consideration, because he's a good builder, good rider, and then the more minds you put together,
better result.
Better results. So, yeah.
Awesome. Where is that Loosefest site? Is it like a private piece of land? Is it a ski resort?
It's an old ski hill, like a tiny ski hill on a little farm, and it's in Malmedy near Spa-Francorchamps. Like I don't know if you know Formula One a little bit. It's near the Formula One track, and on that ski hill, there's no more snow, so the bike park's existing maybe 8 years, 10 years.
Okay.
So there's a tiny little bike park there, and when I got into building big jumps, I started talking to the landowner, and I was like, "Are you cool with me building a big line here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Yeah, but my
big.
really big, like
Something you've never seen before.
yeah, we're gonna have like, and he's like, yeah, cool, just go for it, man. Like
Awesome.
that's super sick. Like during the process, like I'm piling and piling and piling, and we got like tractors driving in with dirt, like for a week straight, like rotating at 6 tractors. And I'm like, are you still okay with this? Like, 'cause, like these landings are like 7 to 8 meter tall now, and he's like, yeah, you need more? Like, just keep going. Like,
Oh, he's all
it's
for
sick.
it. That's awesome.
So we got lucky.
Yeah. Did you know him from elsewhere, or
Just from the bike park. He's
Yeah.
the owner, and he was a nice guy. And
you rode a bit there before?
yeah, I did like, we had a national champs race there in the past. And
Right.
And then I also like offered him like to build a bit in his bike park and trade for me having those jumps there.
Okay.
And yeah, so we worked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So you kind of said it too. You guys are kind of melding motocross, dirt jumping on BMXs with mountain biking, with downhill biking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's like the new freeride? Because freeride and slopestyle used to be kind of the same thing, but it seems like there's a pretty good split going now. Like slopestyle riders are like little trick kids, and you guys are just doing big whips, and the limbs come off a bit, but there's not a lot of crazy tricks going down.
Yeah, I think, how do you say, like, I think it's not free riding or the new free riding. I think it's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like because to me, free riding is like how do you define like free riding? Like it's
Just riding
like,
your bike.
riding your bike on anything you like.
Yeah.
So big jumps is a part of that, I think. Then I think like all the big mountain, like the Rampage style riding and that kind of stuff. But even like if you're just lapping in a bike park, I feel like that could be considered free riding as well, because like you're not racing, so you're riding for yourself. I guess it's whatever you. I don't know. I just it's open. I think.
Yeah.
But it's a part of that.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe like I don't know if we can say that, because like you could compare it to like surfing and big wave surfing, maybe, I feel like.
Yeah.
But then I feel like the big wave surfers are still a lot more gnarly than what we do.
They might think you're gnarlier.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like those guys are mental.
How do you feel about the current state of, like, I guess, free riders as far as like big jumps and big mountain and all that sort of stuff?
I think it's cool. I think it's still like progressing and going in the right direction. Like I guess I would love to see like some more like Rampage like stuff, maybe like elsewhere, but like not even like in the format of Rampage. Like I'm not a big fan anymore of like the competition aspect of things. I rather like I'm a big fan of like the way we run it, like just the jam format, meet up, and then like you just like crown your riders, like
just from the riders too, right?
From the riders' perspective, and I think that's the most fair way to do it. Like that's my personal opinion, you know. Like maybe I'm a bit older and I can't be bothered about like, being competitive. Like I feel like the best. Like I ride because it's fun, and with the way we run our events, like we're just having fun amongst friends. And I feel also within that environment there's a lot more room to push, because you're having a good time. You're not restricted to one run or two runs,
or like some sort of format you've got to nail or anything.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like doing like 50 laps during a week, you got 50 chances of like showing yourself. If you feel like just doing 2 laps, it's also fine. If you don't feel like riding at all, you just want to hang out and drink beers that week because you're not feeling it, that's cool.
Yeah.
So like with Fest, it's more about we want to progress and we definitely want to ride our bikes, but it needs to in a chill environment and like a fun environment, I think. So I'm more for that.
Is that more like like the BMX world's a lot of jam formats these days.
Yeah, and I really like that. I think it's sick because like not to criticize Rampage, but if I look at, because I'm also like I'm judging and I'm a part of that a little bit, but to me personally, like if I see like a windy day or like it brings pressures to the riders. It brings pressure to the riders, and like if like they need to perform like regardless if it's windy or not.
Yeah.
Because the events run, they got maybe a weather day.
Yeah.
But then again, like if it's super windy, they move it forward. But then it happens every year that there's some wind or
yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. And then which is normal, but because of their format, they're restricted.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they would open it up like a surf comp, if there's no waves, no one's surfing.
Yeah, you have a big window. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just prefer that.
Yeah.
It takes away from the pressure and risk and a lot of things.
Yeah, that's cool. Going back to Loosefest Fest series.
Mm-hmm.
Who's behind that? It's you and.
There's a bunch of us actually.
Yeah.
It's like Makan, Mats Haugen.
Yeah.
He's actually like the reason we all started, I think, like because he actually did the first fest event. Like it was he'll do Huckfest, and that's in I think I think it was 2013.
How long ago?
Yeah, either 13 or 14. At the same time, like the year before, we had like Lines of Lofoten in Norway, and then that same year that I also did my Royal Hills project, like the year I stopped racing and did that Royal Hills thing, and I invited Makan to mine, and I invited a bunch of guys, but like and everyone is busy, so like only Makan made it over, so. Makan came right my stuff and he's like, oh, do you want to come to my event? So I went to his event, which was more of an event like the way we run Fest now.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else was there? Like Aggie, Sorgi, Andreo, Piscato, Reynolds, a few more guys, but that's kind of the main guys. And then we had such a good time that week. Like we just like felt like we rode like super good jumps. We've been progressing, partying all night, riding all day. Just had fun.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh man, we need to do more of these. Like after that, and then we kind of just started brainstorming between all of us.
Yeah.
And the next year, like Aggie did his first event. I did my first. Sorgi did his first. So second year there was like, reunion, Aggie's reunion, Loosefest, Huckfest, Huffest.
Right.
And that's kind of how it all kicked off.
Yeah.
And I got my buddy like to draw the artwork, like the hands and all that stuff. Like it was an idea with Piscato, like coming from the underground, like the fast hands.
Yeah, it's good.
And then so that's kind of how it all kicked off.
And you guys are all still involved, but not all of those events necessarily run every year.
No, it's pretty chill. Like if people don't feel like running their event, then that's also cool. And then whoever's keen to run it, runs it. Who's not, it's like more than welcome to show up to the others. And it kind of like it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement. Like when like all those dudes are welcome to any event.
Mm-hmm.
And then the host is responsible for the invites. So like for my event, I like pick the riders that inspire me.
Yeah.
And friends, and then they're like everyone's friends anyways, mostly. And then same.
But you might know someone who's like new or something that no one else knows.
Yeah, totally. And there's no like how you say like format to get in or like.
Oh yeah, you don't have to qualify or anything.
There's no qualifier. This is just like it's our friends.
Yeah.
people we like riding with and that inspire us. Because a lot of people ask me, how do I get into a fest? And like it's tough to say no, but on the other hand, we want to keep it kind of exclusive because it's us putting all the work in.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're not invited, you're just not invited. That's how it goes.
You probably also need to know that rider is going to be good to ride the stuff you're planning to build, right?
Yeah, and then again, like there's so many good riders. There's a lot of good riders out there.
Yeah.
But like, riding's not the only criteria to get like
right
invited. Like because we hang out for a week. Like we go ride together. We have dinners together. Like you.
Yeah.
Like that's like you need to be like fun to be around.
It's like Aggie's reunion. It's a reunion every time.
Yeah. Yeah. So like yeah, and then there's there's only like a certain amount of budget we have. Like we usually like originally the like we kind of made a agreement that it's like 15 rider stops.
Right.
And like sometimes we go over it. Like for my event, I was already up to 22, 24.
Oh really? Huh.
So and then it's a lot of hotel bills, food bills.
Right. So you're putting these people up when they come out.
Yeah. Like the agreement between us now is pretty loose still. It's kind of like hotel, food, jumps, and then they'll fly in and they'll hang out for a week and we ride together. Media crew that films it all, and that's kind of how we run it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So moving from that, you also mentioned Rampage there and that you are a judge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where do you... I guess we've got to ask the question, what are you looking for? Like, I looked at the judges panel from, I think I saw it from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And from memory, I might be wrong, most of them were what I would call your stereotypical freerider, like big lines,
Mm-hmm.
not trick kids or anything like that.
No.
But it seems like every year the tricks are what win.
Well, like the way I look at it, like, and a lot of people might disagree with me, but like everyone, like getting into that event, getting an invite to Rampage, knows how to ride a bike.
Oh yeah.
Most of those guys know how to ride a bike fast.
Yeah.
Some might be a little less fast than others. Some might be going a little less big than others. But mostly, it's still like if you got all those ingredients, you're going fast, you're going big, you're riding a gnarly line. What's next? You know,
right.
Like what is gonna make the difference?
Yeah.
And then if you, like for example, Andreu, like he's World Cup speed. He has loads of style. He's aggressive.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to go big. He rides probably one of the gnarliest lines on the mountain sometimes.
That one him and Aggie had, they shared the start of it a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
I was sharing that line too.
You did too.
Yeah, I was one of the guys that I crashed out.
That run of Aggie, that run of Andreas that year was like you say, World Cup speed. He was going down that thing as fast as anything.
Yeah, so to me, if you're going that fast and then you start doing like big flat spins and flips and like combos and supermans and you know like then like how can you like not see that? And I feel like all those dudes out there are so good right now.
Mm-hmm.
That tricks are gonna make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like if and it's not slope style. Like people, it's the slope style. There's no fucking slope style there. Like look at this slope course and like we're here at Crankworks. Look at Joyride.
Yeah.
Like walk around that place.
It's manicured.
It's manicured. It's perfect. It's not even big anymore. Like that stuff's fairly small. Like if we would build like a fast course on that hill, we would probably have like 1 or 2 jumps.
I was gonna say 2 jumps.
Like on that same distance.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter. I respect it a lot because those dudes are insanely good riders. But Rampage is not slopestyle.
Yeah.
Like guys that do tricks in Rampage and everything's groomed. Why? Like because if you don't groom your landings and you're doing like 70-foot drops, it's just impossible to hold on to it. You're gonna
Yeah.
blow up. Like you need a nice landing, and therefore the whole mountain is groomed. But it's like the amount of respect I got for all those athletes and build crews at Rampage is insane, because like you show, like for example last year's venue, you show up, there's nothing there. Like within a week that place looks like there's trails everywhere.
Yeah.
Huge landings, like you couldn't even like imagine it, like machine packing and stuff in the same
Right,
time.
and they do it
They all
hand.
do it by hand. So it's not slopestyle, and I think tricks are just making the difference because everyone's that good, and that's how you can stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, Andreo's run or Reader's run, they're just like riding steep, fast, style, make it look easy, and then they do tricks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best Rampage
It's a
rider.
differentiator.
Yeah.
Cool. What happened on your run that year? I remember that I actually went back and watched the video this morning of the drop being made, and it was gnarly.
That was bad. Yeah, like how do you say, like I like at Rampage I always struggle a bit like finding my line. Like I always like because there's like I'm pretty like how do you say, not I mean I'm not sure if I'm introvert, but I'm like when I walk around there and I'm picking lines,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe I want it to be too perfect,
Mm.
and I look for something I can't find, and then a lot people take in their spots, you know, and I kind of want to find my own little special thing.
Yeah.
But by doing that, I end up like spending too much time finding a line, which I'm never gonna find. So I
Right.
should be more like just build something quickly. And then it was the second year going to that venue, and the year before, I was sharing a line with Andrea and Aggie, and I helped building that line the year that Andrea won. And then I like was so tired from digging.
Mm.
At first practice, I misjudged like a basic drop, overjumped, like blew my hand off the bar, and concussed myself.
All right.
So I was out. So that wasn't that good. And the year after I got back, I'm like I was more in a like I'm not here to to partake. I'm here to stand out, kind of.
Oh yeah. You want
Like
to
I wanted to send it,
Yeah.
because I came back from like Loosefest and all that stuff, and I was like Erlen's hooked me up with like insane suspension, and I was like just like this bike can take a hit, you know, and these like whatever, like let's go big. So I wrote like the whole bottom part of the line, but the build we started like was like a big risk, like with us finishing it or not.
Mm. Just the amount you had to do.
The amount we had to do and the time we had for that first drop even. And then like the run into it was fine, and then it was like an angled wall into like a straight wall kind of, and we wanted to like roll the top so I could roll into it to halfway and then air like from halfway point.
Right.
But we had hard like the white rock, and we couldn't get through it with the tools we were allowed to use. So like Gaetan from Shape Right Shoot was one of my builders, and he's just like been hanging there for like a week straight, like just like
Hacking
we call it
away.
chisel. Remember that chisel? Like that.
Oh yeah, he had an actual rock chisel.
Yeah, so with a rock chisel, like he's just like chipping away rock. And because of that, him being up there trying to roll that thing, we couldn't build a landing below because there was constantly rocks coming down.
Uh-huh.
And then like the day before qualifying, like I went up there and like kind of like climbed down with the rope to the edge of the drop because he couldn't walk there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like standing on the roll, and I'm like, yeah, we're never gonna roll this, like impossible. So I was like Aggie's like, just write my line, man, like it's fine, like it's whatever, write mine and like get down safe and it's good. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. But then I was kind of like, you know, whatever, like that guy's been digging there for a week, he's done, and I told him like if I go off here, I'm probably gonna land there. The chances of me holding on to that are slim. But then I was like maybe if I power it out, it might work. And I just like committed to it. I was like whatever. Like, but I accepted the fact I told myself I never go out of my comfort zone. I'm pretty controlled when I quit. Like I don't do too many like crazy stuff. And I was just like, okay, if I like every other thing I've done so far, my judgment was right. So maybe there's like this little percentage above my judgment that I don't know of, that I never dared go in.
Yeah.
And I'll just go with that. And then if I crash, whatever. Like I raced World Cups. I had like big crashes racing, like big offs, like huge. It's like this crash is not gonna be any different than overshooting like a steep shoot in a World Cup and blowing up.
Right.
And that's kind of how I told myself it'll be fine. So yeah, like I've never been that focused and in a similar zone to that, because I was kind of just accepting to blow up, but whatever. And one more thing, like during the building, that's more a funny thing. Like Bender came up, and he's like looking over from the top, and he's like, "Looking good, man. Like very good. It's gonna be good."
Bender approved.
Yeah, Bender approved, and I kind of looked over to my builder, joking. I'm like, "We got a problem."
Yeah. That guy like going flat.
Bender approved us. So, yeah, anyways, did it, like, and I landed exactly where I thought I was gonna land. Almost powered it out, but just high-sided and crashed. And that's my Rampage. Like, looking back at it, I probably should have, like, ridden Aggie's line for qualifying. Worked another night on it, built a nice landing.
Oh, yeah.
And because I got pretty close to landing that thing.
Yeah.
And that could have been a good run if I rode that top line into like the bottom drop of Andreo to jump. That would have been good. But whatever, it's past now.
And then that was your last year competing in it.
Yeah, no, I wanted to get in after, but Barbara was like, I would rather have you judging. So
yeah, right.
It's like kind of like bummer, but okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah.
So that's where we are now.
So you got asked to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a lot of arguing in the judges' booth, or are you guys all? No. You write your things down secretly and then.
Yeah, we write our things down, like our own vision, like our own like scores and everything, and then sometimes we like do talk about certain things because we compare runs, and I think that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like because like this year was actually really good, because I was very worried about like us being in a container and judging from TV screens.
Right.
But it was actually way better because like it evens it out over the whole rider field, because like if you're judging on the mountain, you're on one side and some stuff seems further away.
Right.
So, and you know what they are riding, because like we walked every line like multiple times.
Right.
And we saw them practice. We know what tricks they're gonna do. So we kind of already know if they nail the run, what they got in store. Sometimes there are surprises, but mostly we know what's coming.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we know all this stuff, but then even still, it was super nice to be able to do it from a screen.
Yeah.
And
just the same sort of angles and
angles, and we got like we could rewind, and we could have replays.
Right.
So we could rewatch stuff, then we could like play two runs at the same time to compare that guy to that guy. And I thought it was super fair.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was the better one. That was the first year at the new venue last year, eh?
Yeah, it was the first year. Also the first year that first year I was involved that we were judging it from a screen. I don't know if they ever did it before. We always had screens, but we didn't need them as much. And now it was like, I thought it was really good.
Cool. Is it at the same venue this year?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, they're going back to the same venue.
How do you think that's going to affect sort of lines build and stuff like that? Do you think some riders will go back and use the same line and just tweak things, or
Yeah, most riders will go back to the same line.
yeah,
Like that, like if they like riders that were there last year, they're just gonna like improve their line from the rest last year, because like taking on a new build is just so much work.
yeah,
Like a whole new line is like a mission. Like Salmonic last year, like I think he was one of the only guys with Brennan that did a full like unique line to himself. Like most people partnered, but that's also the reason he struggled like finishing the stuff in time.
yeah.
So if you do that, like you take on a big mission, and you might risk like not being able to practice and all
Or
those
just being
things,
too tired and stuff.
or being too tired. So that definitely, I think most people will go back. I think it's hard if it's in like second year they use a venue, and there's new kids coming in.
Yeah, like Reese Wallace.
Yeah, like those guys. Or G's coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
BZ's coming back. So I think it's hard for them because everything's claimed already.
Yeah.
And
so they got to sort of talk to people and try.
They're gonna have to talk or find new stuff, but there's like not that much. Like a lot of it is taken.
Yeah. Something else you're involved in is Chattel Bike Park.
Mm-hmm.
There's always pretty sick edits of your lineup there coming out. How did that come about?
Like again, Ben Walker from Scott. Like Scott has a partnership with Chattel, and yeah, we kind of like go in there and shooting there sometimes. Like I'm an ambassador for the resort.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of like, oh, that's like I was also building bike parks on the side of like of riding professionally, and it's kind of like let's build a line here. It would be sick, like to build a new line in the bike park. We got something cool to shoot. That's sick for the people that come and ride here to have new stuff. And so yeah, that's kind of how that all happened. Like it actually, when I at the end of my racing, I was still racing. I wanted to go more to free riding. That year I was on Rosa still, but riding Scott clothing. I did the Chattel mountain style.
Okay.
Because I went riding there sometime in summer. And I asked if I could enter the event, so I kind of like, that was again, like how you say, like, time in my career that I didn't have the most money.
Yeah.
Then I kind of filled up my car, like, just to make it there, hoping I got some prize money to make it to the next event.
Yeah.
So I was like, I switched in my career. And I was there on a mission. I was like, I need to make some money or I won't make it back home. So I went to Chattel. Did the event. I think I got 5th or 6th or something. So just missed out on prize money. But then for some reason I got like best event spirit, which was like a grant or $1,500. But then the organizer at the time, we got weather. And a lot of the features there didn't get ridden. Like there was a new big drop and no one hit it, and there was a couple things. So I just told him like if you're keen, like I'm keen to come back because I wanted to get into filming and shoot this place with you guys. And he's like, really? But you want to do that? I was like, yeah, sure. So that's like my first contact with Chattel. And then also Ben was already involved there, and I was already on Scott clothing, and I started asking to ride Scott bikes the next year. So that's kind of how that all happened. I went shooting that video, and then the next year, yeah, I rode for Scott and the resort, and then kind of grew from there.
Right. And that big line, was that a similar thing where you asked them to build that, or they asked you? Or?
The big line was actually for the event, the mountain style. Was actually built by Sepp Giraldi and his crew at the time, and it was actually a wild card for Rampage, because that's where I got my wild card for my first Rampage. And so it was like one of the only free riding events in Europe, which was super sick. And then later, like Giraldi left Chattel to work somewhere else, and then I kind of took over that venue and started building like modifying the cars and building new features. So we did a video event for 2 years, and I was kind of involved in the build of that. Like at the same time, I was like starting with all the fest stuff, and that's how I started building there. And then like at the time, like we were looking for new stuff to shoot in the park, and the conversation just started like Nico's building stuff himself. Like just get him in an excavator, like let him build some stuff, and it'll be good, you know. So
Yeah.
and they okayed it, and then I got to build my line there. So I got a signature line in the park now, and yeah, that's how that all started.
And it's open to the public too.
Yeah, that one's open to the public. It's
cool.
like it's like split up in 3 sections. You got the upper one, which is like pretty big for a bike park. The middle section is more like a connection trail because we were very limited in what we could do with the terrain, rock, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lower one's like more of a beginner jump trail. It's pretty tech still, but
smaller.
Yeah, but fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there different chair lifts that go up those
Let's
levels?
do chair lifts.
So you could pop off and just do like the lower section
Yeah,
if you
you
wanted.
can ride the lower mountain or upper mountain. Yeah, like similar to Whistler actually.
Yeah,
just a bit less trail.
A bit less. They got a few here, don't they?
Yeah, this place is epic. I love it.
So do you spend much time in Chatel then? Or is it just whenever you get there?
Let's say maybe a month a year in summer.
Yeah.
Like from building to riding to shooting, like probably a month and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then my other times like taken with like other projects like fast stuff.
Yeah.
Shooting for my partners, like
Yeah. Speaking of partners, you've been with Scott, you say about 6 years now?
I think 6, yeah.
6
5,
years.
6, yeah.
How long have you been with Olins for?
Ellen's, I think 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Because this is my 4th year charging a Rampage this year. And I think I started riding their suspension the year I crashed in Rampage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you were on it then. Yeah, because you said it was awesome suspension.
Yeah, 5 years I think.
So how involved are you with the development of the products you're riding? Like do you do testing? Are you more?
I do some testing, but like for example, like this bike now, like it's almost done, you know, like or it is done. This is almost how they'll sell it. So this one I didn't do too much. I just like ride it now and still give a little bit of feedback, but there's barely any feedback I could give because it's
Style.
But it's epic, yeah. So as far as suspension, I just run it, and if I have issues, I'll tell them. But I barely had any issues. Then reverse components gave me like my signature product. So there, I just had like input in like it's all a bit heavier than this like most. Like I don't care about light.
You want it strong.
Just want it strong. I'd rather have a bit more material and like not bending or cracking bars when I ride the stuff we ride.
Totally.
I just want my parts to be tailored up to what we're doing.
Totally, it makes sense.
And we're riding moto stuff, so it could be a bit more beefy.
Yeah.
What else? Hope has been probably my longest partner now. Like 10 years I'm riding for them, I think.
Hope are pretty involved with a bunch of the sort of fest guys, hey? Like,
yeah, they hook it up. Like they love what we're doing. Like they're super nice to us. And how do you say? Like Hope is just a super rad company.
Yeah.
Like they're good people, and it's all like machined in UK, and I like their product. Like it's not how you say, it's not coming from China. It's like they just nicely machined. Like everything you can how you say, it's easy to find spare parts. Like if you break a lever, you don't need to get a full like new brake. You just
you just buy a new lever,
buy a new part, and they always been good to us. It's kind of like the profile of mountain biking, I feel like. So I just
true. Loud hub and all.
Loud
hub and all.
Yeah.
Because the profile hubs are loud.
Yeah,
right?
they're loud. Yeah. So I always, they've been good to me, and I'm very fortunate and happy to be riding for them.
Awesome. Does your setup change much for, say, example, riding here in Whistler to riding your Loosefest stuff?
A little, yeah. Like I soften my stuff up.
You do,
bit,
yeah.
Like for Loosefest, I run a super firm setup, like almost unrideable in the bike park, just
Right.
because of the, I just wanted to like be there if I over jump, come up short. Like the more support you get, the better. Like if you're going deep on like a 90-foot jump and you're going like the 100, 110 and you land flat, like it's harsh.
Yeah.
Like I had landings on those jumps where like I don't know if it's that build up a new bike, like you ride it, like, and then one time I over jumped the second, and like all my balls were loose.
No way.
Yeah, just from like I don't know the impact or the vibration.
Yeah, just shook everything.
Yeah, so it's like the firmer it is, like slow rebound for sure, because if you case or in those takeoff, you rather have it sitting in than like kicking you off forward, because that's the biggest nightmare on those jumps. Like if you get bucked,
you're dead.
Like with the distance you travel, you're just like you're in it. Like any jump, but those jumps, the consequences are a lot higher, and then
for sure. So what I was going to ask, you were talking about stiffening it up for Loosefest, softening it up for here. What do you find? Do you find more that it's you stiffen it up for the big stuff you're doing, or do you have to soften it? Like, do you run it more often stiff?
No, like I run it more often soft, I think, because like those, like riding big jumps is not like an everyday thing.
Yeah. You'd like it to be that.
I would, definitely. Although, like, I love it, but I'm also getting to the point that where, how you say, to realize what we're doing and to keep that progressing, the amount of work that goes into it is loads.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like looking to do like more different stuff as well, like maybe some more like big mountain riding and free riding, and then I want to build some like more creative stuff maybe.
The stuff that'll get you on your bike more. You find you're having to put so much time into those big things.
Yeah, because like for example, Loosefest, it's like a 3 to 4 week build, and then you get to ride it for a week, if 2 maybe.
Yeah. And
then the thing is, like with all my other projects and obligations and stuff I got to do, like there's not that much spare time. I need to shoot for Chatel, like I'm shooting for Scott, I'm shooting for Loose Riders, like.
Yeah.
So there, and then other events, and between all that, it's not like I can just chill in Malmedy and ride the big jumps the whole time. And then again, like I got different, like as I said before with the whole free riding thing, I think it's everything, and I got multiple visions of what I want to ride. I don't want to only I don't want to stick to one thing. I like everything.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to build more creative stuff, and I feel like ideally I would love to build creative big stuff, but then the builds are gonna like
they'll take ages,
double or triple the time, and then at the moment I just don't have the resources to commit to that. So I'm kind of like, in my mind, I'm kind of settling to do something super creative on a smaller scale, just and have fun, not scare myself too much.
Yeah.
So I write more big mountain riding and all that stuff, and pushing it in that direction.
Cool. Do you will we maybe see you riding trail bikes more in that sort of vein, or is it still downhill bike?
Mostly downhill bikes. Like I like trail bikes, but
do you own one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Scott Ransom and a Genius, so I ride them sometimes.
Yeah.
Like on big builds, I like going for a pedal in the morning or the evening, just like to get some riding and relax and stay fit and so yeah.
Do you still own a dirt jumper?
Yeah, I do.
You still do some trails?
Yeah.
Sick.
I love dirt jumper. I love going to a pump track or or hitting a set of trails, or I don't do it enough, but
You still enjoy it.
I enjoy it a lot.
That's awesome. What's coming up in your future? Any big projects? I think you said you were doing a shoot somewhere else in BC after Crankworks? Or?
Yeah, we're shooting for a new GGR movie. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but
cool.
it's in the works.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that. Then I got a couple different projects like Chatal. What else? There's one like I would like to squeeze in like what I was saying, like building something super creative, like, and I would like to do it this year still. I'll see if I'll find time, because I need to finish up another movie like a video segment, and then Rampage judging. I might shoot more in Utah, and we might go to Alaska. So there's a lot of stuff coming up, and yeah, sometimes I just go with the flow. I might get injured going riding today, and everything's like
put it in a different timeline.
Yeah, so we'll see.
What do you do in the winter? Like, do you go south to get out of the snow, or?
Well, yeah, kind of. Where I live, you can ride all year.
Okay.
But then again, I've been like...
You're on the road so much.
On the road so much that I'm barely home even in winter time. Usually, either go south, but now with Darkfest, like that's like the whole month of January till mid-February we're there.
Right.
And then when I get back from there, usually I got like other projects, like let it be like shooting in the snow with Vinny T, or shooting in March, I don't know, like for example for Hope, or different. There's always stuff going on.
Yeah, keeps you busy.
Yeah.
So I usually like to end my podcast with a couple of what I call quick shots.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like basic things, and it's kind of like the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
There are a couple here. There's a couple of extra ones because I forgot to ask you before, and they fit really well in here.
Mm-hmm.
So first one is, who do you really like to watch ride?
There's a couple, but I'll say them quick. I think Samina. I think Andrew.
Yeah.
Bryceland, Fairclaw, Vinny T. There's definitely someone I'm forgetting, but there's so many good riders.
Yeah, there is a.
That's
awesome now.
Those come to mind first, probably. Aggie's sick. Like the whole Fest crew sick, and then there's so many gnarly dudes out there.
This is obviously not a quick shot. We're going to step out of that for a second. What's the deal with the Fest guys not only being able to go so big, but all of them have sick styles too? Like, none of them look like huckers. They look like really skilled riders.
I don't know. Like, I never looked at it that way. I just think it's like dudes that have been riding for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's that type of rider, I think. Like they don't... Maybe they're focused on just riding, and not... Like, they ride a lot, I think. And they're just good at riding. To hit that kind of stuff, you need to be really good. And I don't know how come, like, that crew...
They all have sick styles.
Got together and they all have sick style. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't really say why. They just do.
You're drawn to each other, kind of.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just like-minded people.
Yeah.
Like viewing the sport in a similar... Looking at, like, what they want the sport to be in a similar way. And we just somehow ended up together. And the cool thing is with the whole Fest thing is, like, when you... Like, riding a week like that, you really bond, and we're all buddies. Like, it's super sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that just works.
It works, and it's awesome. So back into the quick shots. Who has the best style?
Tough one. Probably go at it. There's a lot of good style.
Yeah. There's a lot of good style riding.
I would say Andrew.
Yeah.
Because he's a natural. He's not like trying to have style. He's just riding.
He's just doing his thing.
He's wild. He's aggressive. He goes big. He sends tricks. He's just he's probably then again, the Salmon looks super sick and has plenty of style. Yeah. If I would have to pick one, probably Andrew.
Okay.
Because he's just so raw.
Sick. Best place to ride?
There's a few, but I think my favorite place ever is Farm in Kamloops.
Oh yeah, that
Not,
place is sick, eh?
like near Kamloops, not the ranch,
Yeah.
but like Ron's place.
I don't know. Would we have seen it anywhere? Listeners have seen
It's
it.
pretty like it's a bit of a private
Yeah.
area.
It's
Or
never
it's
been
super
in,
private.
never been in photos or videos or anything.
A little bit in Aggie's movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen me like hit like the double over the trees.
I think I've seen that.
That is there, and
Huh.
it's like the most core
Yeah.
place you can like.
So it's the vibe of the joint as well as the fact there's good riding there.
Yeah,
That's what makes it so
it's
good.
both. It's raw. It's really raw.
Awesome.
It's like the most real place I've ever ridden a bike. Like super sick trails. We're always with a small crew and mostly the fast dudes, so that adds to the like vibe.
Yeah.
And then the guy that built it all or built most of it is like a badass. Like I like going there.
And he rides it all too, I take it.
Yeah.
Sick. What's the best feeling on the bike?
Flow, I think.
Like flowing trails, that's what gets you going.
Flow and anything. Let it
Yeah.
be big jumps. Let it be trails. Like I'm not like I've never been a guy like a one hit kind of guy. I just like stuff that flows and that links up and
Mhm.
you just like you're cruising and it just all feels like super like easy and natural and it's like that's what I like the most.
Who's someone we should look out for, rider? You said Jackson earlier. Is there someone else?
I think Jackson Rill's definitely high up there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's only like coming on the scene like maybe the last 2 years, and like we'll see that kid around.
And you said he's like 17.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And his focus and dedication to riding is huge. He's digging a lot. He's a shredder, and he's like, I just go look up some of his stuff. He has such a puppy tricks. We took him down like garble stuff, like super steep, slippery stuff. He was on a semi-slick. He was riding it all. Like just the kid's special. And we're gonna see him.
Blow up.
There's a lot of guys though, like Kate, for example.
Oh yeah, hey.
Yeah,
Like, that kid's nuts.
Yeah, like all those young kids, like Kate, Gales, DJ. Like there's so many good riders now.
Yeah. You're sitting across from me now, full mouth of teeth. There's a lot of photos of you without a tooth.
Yeah.
What happened there?
BMX riding.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. Like I rode I still rode more BMX now than I did mountain bikes. I think because of the time I spent.
Oh, the amount. Yeah.
But I just like first time I was cruising my local skate park. I was a bit tired, just like, and I like to like transfer and just ride fast and go high and like. So I was like just doing my like cruisy local lap, and I had to transfer into the vert ramp. And I should not be riding that day. I was like hungry, sleepy, but I couldn't stop. I was just like go on. The dog doesn't want to stop. And I did an air and I just hung up. And I had an open face helmet and I just hung up. Like I went over the bars, hit the bottom, and then I broke my nose, concussed. Like I lost 5 of my teeth.
Oh shit.
They fixed it all up, and then after that, like again BMX riding, like same thing, riding the park. I do a big air T-walk, like missed my bars, case, knock out my teeth again. I crack it, I break it in half, and then that's that. They fix it again, but then with me smashing my teeth so much, I had inflammation on it. And then I was going into my World Cup season, probably 2007 or 8. 7, I think. It might be even 6. I don't know anymore. And then how do you say like inflammation is like bad for your physical condition, recovery, all that stuff. So I just like decided to pull it out and then not have it toot for a while. for 7 years. So
So you yanked the tooth out yourself?
No, I didn't do it myself. I went
You
to
went to a dentist.
and stuff, so they did it for me.
But it took you 7 years to get it
fixed. It's a lot of money, and
it is,
all my money went into riding.
Yeah.
Every single euro I got went back into biking, traveling. Like even like it would have been like $3,000 to $5,000 to fix it, and I was more like, what if I fix it and I crash again? Like that money's gone. If I buy a moto, I can just go ride. So that was kind of how I looked at it.
Cool. That's that story.
Cool, sick.
Thanks heaps, Nico.
Thank you. I hope it's interesting.
And with that, we come to the end of the second NSMB podcast. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it and learnt more about Nico Vink. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen and let us know what you think. You can also check nsmb.com for regular MTB content. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode for your listening pleasure. Until then, get out and ride your bike.